Yo, this your boy, the real McCoy, coming at you, man. Talking about football, greatest sport in the world, man. Playoffs, championship weekend. I just did a video for the AFC championship, man. Congratulations to the Denver Broncos for winning the AFC, reaching Super Bowl 50. You know, I'm happy for Peyton Manning. Right after that game, you had the NFC championship. 1-seeded Carolina Panthers, 2-seeded Arizona Cardinals. A game that I thought was going to be very competitive. A lot of people, including myself, believe that Arizona Cardinals were the most complete team in the NFL. You know, they were down to the third or fourth string quarterback last year in the playoffs when they played the Panthers and lost. This time they had Carson Palmer, and they got absolutely annihilated. They got crushed, man, 49-15. I mean, in the first half, the Carolina Panthers, they're coming out and they crushing people. I mean, they jumped out on the Seattle Seahawks 31-0 at halftime, but Seattle did make a run in the second half and made that very interesting. That came down to an onside kick. This game here, they jumped out. I think it was 24-7 at the half, 17-0 at one point. And you think, okay, because Carolina in the second half throughout the regular season, they weren't really a good second half team as far. I think their point differential, I think they were negative, you know, or minus, whatever you want to call it. And Arizona were a pretty good second half team. And you figured, you know, if Arizona and Seattle did last week, they'll get back in the game. That just wasn't the case. They just got crushed. I mean, you felt like, okay, this is just the Panthers come out with the pick six, and you know what I mean, the scoring the touchdowns, the tag in reverse, Brown, the wide receiver, a deep crossing route, he goes, see, okay, Arizona just needs to calm, kind of like Russell Wilson, just need to calm down and come out in the second half and make it interesting. That wasn't the case, man. They crushed these boys. I mean, it just looked like, man, are the Carolina Panthers, are they that much better than every other team in the NFL? I mean, Arizona and Seattle are two of the top 5 best teams in the NFL. I don't think most people will question that. I think the 4 teams that play in the championship weekend are the 4 best teams. And I would put Seattle 5, you may put them 4, 3, however you want to put them. You know what I mean? Do you think Seattle's better than New England this year? They didn't really play each other. I think they're better than Denver. You know what I mean? They split with Arizona. They lost twice to I mean, so however you want to put Seattle, you know what I mean? That's how I personally see it. The 4 teams that played in the championship, and I think those are the 5 best teams in the NFL, with Green Bay now outside looking in. And my Cowboys right there. Nah, I'll just play. But Carolina, man, they jumped up. Now, Seattle did make it interesting last week, but Arizona, I thought this game was going to be so competitive because how well-rounded Arizona is. A complete team. And, man, they got annihilated, man. I mean, after this game, it popped in my head. I was like, Carson Palmer. I mean, I talked about Carson Palmer after the divisional round last week against the Packers. I wasn't too hard on him because he won the game, actually. But if you guys remember, coming out of USC, I mean, people were talking about Carson Palmer like he was going to have a Tom Brady type of career with the hype coming surrounding him. You know what I mean? But when you look at Carson Palmer's career, I personally have to go back and questioning, scratch my head like, man, who is this guy? You know what I mean? Talent-wise, he's an MVP candidate looking at his numbers. Most people throughout the years, you know what I mean, most people put Carson Palmer usually in the elite up there with the Brady. I mean, before Russell Wilson and Cam Newton, before those guys even came in the league, a lot of people were putting Carson Palmer up there with the elites, with the Bradys, with the Mannings, the Roethlisbergers, and got the Drew Breeses and guys like that. But I mean, I think last week was his only playoff win, and he had no excuse. With all the talent that's around him in Arizona, he had no excuse. Carson Palmer looked like the stage was too big and the lights were too bright for him. I mean, he had, 6 turnovers? The team had 7 total? He was throwing interceptions. I mean, he's known for scratching the field, throwing the ball deep, and you know, I mean, your secondary better be. He threw it deep tonight. Your secondary better be ready because he's scratching the field. But some of his deep throws, double coverage. He threw the one interception late across the middle. He led the receiver too far to the inside, and the safety came. I mean, Carson, they look inexperienced. You know what I mean? Like he was just like his third or fourth year in the league, his first playoff game. I mean, I just look at. I mean, I never really, you know, because of the careers that Peyton Manning and Tom Brady has had, people haven't, you know, really looked at Carson Palmer's career, you know what I mean, as far as a lead and things like that. Well, now at this point of his career, you got to start thinking maybe Hall of Fame. But when you look at his career, you're like, man, when he came out of USC and the expectations that he had coming out of college, I mean, he was being mentioned like how Andrew Luck, the hype he had coming out of college, Carson Palmer was getting that coming out of college. You know what I mean? So then you go back and you look at his career, it's like, man, what happened? You know? But he had no excuse to have 6 turnovers. Look at the talent on that team. Great coach. I mean, in Bruce Arians. I mean, right after the game, that's something that had just popped in my head. But man, Carson Palmer, I don't know. But anyway, the game itself, man, congrats to the Carolina Panthers, man. Cam Newton. You know what I mean? My man, Super Cam, doing his thing, man. Dabbing on them people, man. They're tough, man. They are tough, man. They're complete. They can run. They can throw. Things like that. Cam Newton had a bad the one he threw to Patrick Peterson. Way overthrew the tight end. You know, I thought, and that was a good hustle. Good hustle by Ted Ginn to run down Patrick Peterson on that interception. Because I thought Pat Pete was going to score. Because the very next play, Carson Palmer threw an interception. That was huge. I think at the time, the score was, what, 24-7? And that would have made it 24-14, right? I think it was right before the half, I believe. And that would, I think it was it early third. And that would have gave us some kind of momentum. Because Patrick Peterson, Pat Pete dropped the fumble. And if you would have caught it, he had the momentum. I think he had a kind of a lane there. So, I mean, a bunch of momentum swing type plays, but good hustle by Ted Ginn. We probably won't, you know what I mean, that won't get mentioned, but that was a good hustle by Ted Ginn. Carson Palmer threw a pick. Larry Fitz dropped the pass. He dropped 2. You know what I mean? Just a weird game, but I mean, just the way, because Seattle and Carolina are good football teams, man. They are good. 2 of the top 5 best teams in the NFL, and Carolina, well, in the first half, they crushed Seattle. This entire game, they dominated the Cardinals. I mean, this stuff is impressive, man. It's impressive. And if Ted Ginn gets involved and make plays the way he did, they're tough to beat, man. They are tough to beat. Greg Olsen in the middle of the field, Cam running and throwing, doing his thing. I mean, the running game between the tackles, they're tough, man. Man, they're tough to beat. Tony Jefferson, I think it's the safety for the Cardinals, he had a hard time covering Greg Olsen. In my prediction video, I had said that this is a game where they probably would miss Tyrann Mathieu, the honey badger. I know the Cardinals, they're saying they're trying to sign Tyrann Mathieu to a long-term deal. I would definitely lock him up, you know what I mean? Josh Norman, the corner for the Panthers, he's a free agent at the end of the season. NFL Network was saying that Josh Norman and the Panthers, they were in discussions for a long-term deal, but they were far apart. I don't think he'll leave Carolina. I think they'll work it out, but he's a free agent. But Jefferson, he had a hard time covering Greg Olsen, the Panthers tight end. I said this is a game where the Cardinals could miss and I think they did. Tyrann towards ACL early in the year against the Eagles. Against the Eagles. I said, yeah, this is a game where they could miss Tyrann Mathieu to cover Greg Olsen. You know, Tyrann Mathieu's big time, man. He's big time. And sure enough, I mean, Greg Olsen got loose for a couple of big plays. He's a tough cover. Great players make plays. Gronkowski with the Patriots, he had a great game. Looking at his numbers, you know. But they definitely missed him. Pat Pete struggled. Man. There are times where Patrick Peterson looks like the best corner in the NFL. There are also other plays where he looks a little bit overrated. You know what I mean? Getting beat on some easy routes and things like that. Not just this game, just go over the career, things like that. But I ain't gonna be too hard on Pat. I like Pat Pete. He's a good dude on and off the field. I like Pat Pete, man. But yeah, he redeemed himself with the interception after he dropped the punt, things like that. He had a pass interference call, so he had a pick 6 against Green Bay last week that got called back for holding or something like that, offsides or whatever it was, hands to the face, yeah. But they just got crushed, man. Absolutely crushed by the Panthers. They're just a way better. Well, on paper, it's hard to say a way better team, but they were a way better team today. I mean, Carson Palmer, I don't know. I don't know what to say about him, man. The Arizona Cardinals had no kind of pass rush at all. Now, Panthers, something that a lot of people don't talk about, Carolina got a pretty good offensive line now. They have a pretty good offensive line led by their Pro Bowl center, Ryan Khalil. They got a pretty good offensive line, but there was just no pass rush. And it'll be interesting in the Super Bowl with Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware coming off the edge. We'll see how that matches up. You know what I mean? That great secondary the Broncos have. The Panthers wide receiver core, they're not gonna, they're not household names. Ted Ginn is a little bit. You know what I mean? No Calvin Benjamin. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it all matches up, man. But congratulations to the Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos, and their fan base reaching a historic Super Bowl 50, man. Good matchup, man. Two great defenses, things like that. You got Cam Newton, my pick for MVP, my vote for MVP, things like that. His first Super Bowl. Congrats to those guys. Should be a good game. I think I was just I'm happy for the Panthers and Cam Newton, don't get me wrong. I was just disappointed in Carson Palmer. Like, dude, I mean, I as a football fan, I just expected more and better than that. Like, dude, you're better than that, man. And then you look at it, he only has one playoff win last week that had to go in overtime. He didn't play well in that game. He definitely didn't play well in this game. 6 turnovers. 6. And some of the reads and the decisions that he was making, they were horrible. Some of the throws he made was horrible. I mean, but hey, give credit to the Panthers deep. Now, they got some injuries. Luke Kuechly, he hit Roman Harper, his own teammate. When I first saw it, I was like, God dang. Luke Kuechly taking on his own teammates, but Roman Harper had a cut over his eye. Thomas Davis has some type of arm injury, so we'll see. But Super Bowl is 2 weeks into the Super Bowl, so whatever these guys got to do to play, you know what I mean, they'll go out there and they'll play, or at least try to, you know what I mean. So we'll see how it all plays out, man. I think the Broncos are coming in fairly healthy, so the Panthers got to deal with some injuries there, but I mean, they crushed them, man. They absolutely crushed a very good, was it ProFootball.com? I don't want to say who it was if I'm wrong, but I think I remember who it was, but they said the Arizona Cardinals were the favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. Well, not this year when the playoffs started. The Cardinals were the favorite. And they got crushed. I mean, the Cardinals are a good team, man. Arguably the second best team in the NFL. You know what I mean? I think they match up very well against the Broncos, against the Patriots. Match up very well, man. And the Panthers, are the Panthers that good? I mean, Seattle and Arizona, like I keep saying, 2 of the top 5 best teams in the NFL. And Carolina, say the first half against Seattle and the entire game against the Cardinals looked like, especially the Cardinals, they were a JV team. Crushed these boys. No chance. Just annihilated them. I mean, are they that good? Now, it would be interesting to see how the Panthers, not saying, they can't, at least they've been proving it all year, if they don't jump out to that lead in the first half, and the second half, they're facing some resistance from the Broncos defense. It'd be interesting to see how they perform and how they play, you know what I mean? But man, they look good, man. But what they do, they are very efficient. Speaking of the Panthers, they are an efficient offense. Led the league in scoring. They are an efficient offense, man. You know what I mean? And it's all predicated off Cam Newton. You have to respect him running, and now he's beating people from the pocket now. He threw 35 touchdowns this year. I think he had, 3 games? Or at least 2? 2 or 3. Well, he threw 5 touchdowns and no picks. So I'm happy for Cam Newton, man. He going to dab his way to the Super Bowl, man. Things like that. But I'm happy for the Panthers. Should be a good matchup. I'm going to do some Super Bowl videos later on, leading up throughout the week. Things like that. I said earlier I would have put the video out earlier, but I had to watch the X-Files. You know what I mean? X-Files came on right after the game. I mean, everybody watched the X-Files growing up. You know what I mean? So I watched that. But congrats to the Panthers, man. The video's getting kind of long now. Congrats to the Panthers, man. Should be a good Super Bowl. And I have videos leading up to it, to the Super Bowl, things like that. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think, man. Carson Palmer, I mean, congrats to, I don't want to take no credit away from the Panthers, but just Carson Palmer, man. go back and look at through his whole career, his resume. He's like, man, ooh wee. Man, I gotta look at him differently now, you know. But let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Congrats to the Panthers, congrats to the Broncos and all their and their fan base on reaching Super Bowl 50. This your boy, the Real McCoy, all my football fans, and man, Super Bowls. I mean, I'm glad it's here, but I'm sad to see the season end. You know what I mean? But this your boy, the Real McCoy, man. I'm out. Peace.